Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of my Minecraft Realm Survival series. I have a lot to do today as I want to keep pushing myself to be better. In between episodes, I was able to get good enough enchantments on all my tools. I want to thank you guys for all the support as it really helps in the progress of these videos. Next episode, I plan to make a subscriber shrine, so comment for a chance to be the first member. Anyways, to get right to work, I was done with looking at this eyesore of a hole, along with I wanted to work with a mountain and flat plot next to it. Over towards the lava farm and larger hole is where I plan to work next episode possibly, but you guys will just have to wait and see my plan unfold. But it was time to gather some simple resources to work on a deep pond, as you know, Pheasant loves his water. I was able to bring in some mossy cobblestone in with the stone and normal cobble. A vine farm is an easy way to gather them, so that may be necessary in the future. Now the most annoying step, I brought the water into the level I wanted, along with adding some decoration. And just like that I had a lovely spot to look at and it honestly adds so much to the place. But always on to the next thing, as I had big plans in my future for a forest on the outer side of my gate, filled with farms and little crevices to explore. So I got to planting, as it took an incredible 5 minutes to place 3 stacks of saplings. Getting a little overview, I was enjoying the new increased mix of spruce and oak, along with many more to grow. I placed 3 spruce saplings near my pond, and then it was time to get to the first major build, my auto smelter, as I needed an effective and efficient way to smelt a large amount quickly. So I started with this overhang of an entrance into the hill. After getting the basic structure up, I knew I needed quite a bit of brick for the build, so I got a chance to use Clayton. While my clay is smelting down into brick, I wanted to ask you guys to like and subscribe if you want more content in the future. The map sure is coming along, as I can't wait to fill it up, especially when I put something in the water. But I got to a floor design using chiseled tough brick and stone brick. Copying the layout for the front beams and putting pots out front, I was getting my layout settled. I was comfortable to add in a birch log roof along with some copper design for the arches. After some more smelting, I worked on the outline of the roof with a spruce design, along with a nice oxidized copper block at the top to finish it off. Get out! Finally working towards the interior of the build, I worked with this brick arch along with adding some greenery in the pots outside. Now to finally get into the good stuff, I got mining out the area for the smelter, along with adding the simple lantern design we saw last video by Diesel, but after getting slightly distracted I finished off the area for the smelter. Now for the painful part of material collecting, as I needed a little bit of redstone, rails, and in this case, 48 hoppers. Yeah, that took some money out of my wallet, but it should be worth it in the end. But to get to the build, I started with a collection chest and a row of hoppers, as when the furnace smelts the goods, it will be taken out and collected. So much pain, so many hoppers, and damn, I need 4 more. But to hold off searching for iron, I got some of the rail system together, as there will be minecart chests bringing the items into the furnace. Thankfully, in the time that I explained that, I found enough iron scattered in my chest and got back to finishing my smelter, along with getting a little distracted with the tunnel in. But I think we were all waiting for this moment, as the carts went across and back perfectly, and so it was time for a test run. So I just put my items in the top cart, and then I will come around back to put in the coal, and I was ready to see it in action. Oh yeah, looking nice. Nice. Oh wait. Oh, that's why. Okay. Awesome. And as you can see, it was collecting the chest extremely fast, as it smelts a stack in 45 seconds. Now to clean up the place, I started with the tunnel in with covering the roof, and then I brought in spruce beams to cover the parts of the furnace. After getting several beams up, I took out the floor as I wanted to continue the tough and stone brick design. Aw, dang it, all out. So I decided to call it a rest for the night. As I got on the next day, I was amazed to see some new textures as the leaves were deeper in detail along with the weeds in the water. The flowers were different and unique, the cactus looked awesome, and even the sugarcane was different. Yeah, this isn't bad, I could get used to this. Being so distracted with the new textures, I didn't even notice a gift brought to me as I was so happy to see 2 name tags. And thankfully, I knew exactly what to name it, as a subscriber wanted it named after himself, and this lucky duck gets to join me as my horse on this journey. This is one good looking horse. Alright. Oh my god. Jacob. We're alright. After that close incident, I decided to keep Jacob the Great nearby. Then it was back to work on the roof, which was looking a bit messy, so I cleaned it up and replaced it with a stone and stone brick design. Then I swiftly placed the brick wall design along with a door to get the coal chest. You guys probably forgot it's been so long, but I headed to the caves to get my much wanted tough blocks, and thankfully there was a large crowd right at the bottom of the mine. Alrighty, so after an easy grab with Tough, I finished off the flooring to complete the auto smelter. And boy was I feeling good about it, as I have never built one before, so it was just great to have. After adding in some final greenery, it was time to move base, as my mess was in the way of my next build. The farm that will be going in this build is one of my favorites, as every Minecraft world needs it, so I started with an outline which after some struggles and redesigning, I got to something. I brought in the familiar spruce beams and used stairs to extend them out one for the second floor. After getting my basic shape, it was time to work out the first floor walls as they will serve as the foundation of the house. Now onto the second floor, I worked with oak wood and planks and made several windows. And as I wanted the entrance to be in the second floor, I brought out the foundation for a nice porch on the walk up. I used this trapdoor design for the sides of the stairs as I think it adds a nice touch. After crafting up some spruce fences, I made a gated area for something. Anyone know yet? Alright, I'll give you guys a few more seconds. Come on, any guesses? Any guesses? Oh, there we go. I heard sugarcane in the back. With the addition of a soon-to-be full sugarcane field, yes, I am building an automatic sugarcane farm, which should produce me more than enough paper and sugar for anything that I need. I then got started on the roof to keep this terrible rain out, and it turned out really nice with the tough brick stairs. It was time to work on the farm, as I made just enough room for it to fit. Alright, I am so sorry guys, but what you see behind the wall is the finished farm, as my footage was lost when Minecraft glitched out due to the new texture packs. But anyways, it'll be alright as I continue to set this ladder, and I'll give you guys a little bit of tour as I finish up the design of the farm. But here's my collection system below, as well as the lever to turn on the farm. You really do need 2 double chests as the production is insane. But then I got around to finishing off the top floor where the chest for bone meal is, and I don't really have room for much else. But just a little tour behind the scenes, there's a piston setup which destroys the sugarcane as it's bone mealed. It's really quite a simple farm that anyone can do. Now to give it a test run, as I put a bunch of bone meal in and let the farm go for a bit. It was clearly working spectacularly, which I was extremely pleased about, so I made a bunch of paper and wanted to head to the new creeper farm I've heard rumors about. Grabbing a cherry boat on the way out, I headed to the portal and of course took a look at my lovely base. After a little bit of traveling in new directions in the nether, I made it to the creeper farm, where I was met with a little shock, but thankfully flew on up for a good view of this soon-to-be massive creeper farm. It is only a fifth of the way done, and it is much more to do, but I really like the design with 3 separate chutes to kill creepers with trident killers. I then decided to AFK for 20 minutes, and the results were good enough, and I was excited for it to be finished and made more beautiful. So I then headed back home through the nether portal. Oh, hello there. It feels good to be back home in my own land with everything in the distance looks amazing. Surprised you guys aren't curious on what I have in stock for this side of the base. And of course I had to take another look at the lovely map, but then it was time to harvest some of the sugarcane to finish up the field, and I was really loving how it looked from above, as I then headed to collect some spruce to finish up some exterior decoration. I've just been using the expanding forest area to grow some large spruce, which really make getting wood easy. I just went with these nice decorations around the outside of the windows and used signs and trapdoors, and the build was just about complete, so you know me, right on to the next objective, a path up the hill. I once again went with a simple design of just spruce stairs and wanted to get some foundation to the beginning and the end of the stairway. After finishing off the basics of it, I wanted to add in some greenery, and I think it was crazy to think this looks good, so I spread it out more and I enjoyed the simplicity of it. Now on to a little terraforming, as the area up here really isn't terrible, but it never hurts to give a good cleanup. But I decided to push the land out a bit, to add in some more depth, so I quickly got a shape and filled it in. I then brought some more leaves over closer to the soon-to-be cliff edge, as I wanted to bring in a nice gradient of cobblestone and stone for a nice look. I then of course had to bring the dirt out and down for some added details. I have gotten comments about using moss and other blocks for a stronger look, and I hope to do so in the future. Now on to more terraforming, as I wanted a large flat area that I hope to get to in the future with paths, but my main focus was actually going to be above the lava smelter. So I got right to work bringing the mountain back and a path going down to hopefully a nice seat looking over in the future. After some thought, I started my work off the path into the mountain once again, where this time I plan to have a cave entrance going deeper inside of the hill. I got started with a simple cobble and stone design as to how tall I wanted it to be. After covering all the extra spots, I got to adding some slabs for that extra depth and detail. Now it was time to push on deeper into the cave. I quickly realized we had some problems going deeper, as of course my auto smelter was right below us, but I worked nicely around it and tried to keep a natural cave feel. It was really coming together, as I was able to mine enough of the tunnel to where some new farms are going. Speaking of farms, I needed to gather the resources for it, which thankfully was not like the auto smelter which tore through my iron supply. The hint for these farms is these shears are extremely important for both. But I got to more digging, as I needed the space, and I quickly got a basic one figured out, along with the spot for my first farm. So getting right to it, I started with a hopper going to a collection chest, followed by a dispenser which would be filled with bone meal. And of course the famous small clock that constantly causes the dispenser to be used. It is a must for so many farms. Well, it's a Lykan Farm, as I believe it's an extremely underrated item in Minecraft which truly helps bring more detail and natural light into any build or place. After finishing up some detailing, I did some sweet rooftop parkour to get some bone meal to give the farm a test run. All you gotta do is put it in here, and then hit the lever, and get shearing. After a quick montage of me shearing the Lykan, it was clear that this farm easily made more than enough of what I wanted. So I got to some exterior decoration with adding some fresh natural lighting, and honestly really adds cool textures to the blocks. After making the cave look pretty decent, I realized it was missing some more glow as I grabbed more materials for my 4th redstone farm of the episode. And wow, I must say, just flying in over here, it just looks so amazing, and I love how everything is coming together so far. But back into the cave. I first mined out an area for my collection chest, followed by a hopper leading into it. Then I put another dispenser, as this was yet another farm using bone meal, the glow berries, but I put in another clock system. And just like that, it was up and working. All I had to do was place a glow berry in the correct position along with some bone meal to make the farm function. Alright, so let's just turn it on and get shearing. And after running out of bone meal, it was clear that this was also a great farm. So after getting a little excited, I wanted to add the final decoration into the cave, as the glowberries hanging was a great touch. Then I did some touch-ups around the berry farm along with some more Lykan on the floor to really bring the cave together. I love the feel of it. Oh yeah, this is looking good. So I got to some more leaves to get some exterior decoration going on. Oh, hello there. I couldn't believe it, but this was somehow my first time seeing a phantom on this playthrough, so I knew I'd been working too long and needed a good sleep. Definitely not to burn him alive due to the temperature of the sun. Die, you foul beast. Anyways, I finished up those leaves and it finally felt like it was complete. I can't wait to add in some custom trees and see how the cave looks once even more structures are up around it. Now it was time to get on a nice swinging seat for the end of his path to look over and down the hill towards the mine. I went ahead with stone brick and spruce fences, along with spruce gates to bring it together in the top. Then I added my favorite simple slab and trapdoor design. And boom, just like that, I was really enjoying the shape of it all, but of course I need more leaves. I really gotta get a bunch of resources for next episode. And I'm so happy I built this, as this is a great spot to think. I then got around to some extra bone mealing around the area I've worked on today, as the empty space needed some love. Wow, yeah, that added a ton of little detail, as the baby horse seems to be loving it as much as myself. We really were able to bring this area together today, as it feels so much more complete. Can't believe not too long ago this was terribly terrained land. But I had one more thing I wanted to do this episode, as if you guys didn't know, the new hanging signs are awesome with 6 stripped logs and iron, as I wanted to add some signs to the exterior of my builds. First up was the paper mill, but I idiotically named it sugar mill, but no one likes sugar, and I made sure to add the glow stacks for additional lighting. Next up was the auto smelter, which I was able to switch up the design to fit a nice hanging sign, but please let me know any names that could fit better in the comments. The third step was a cave, which I do hope to expand later on, possibly, but I really need help on this one. It's definitely looking much better with some contacts. After getting the 3 builds of the episode done, it was looking pretty good coming back through. I only had one more glow insect, so I wanted to use it wisely, but I added a sign to my starter home as well. Now for the final sign of the episode, I wanted to put just one more at the top of the skeleton grinder, just in case it may be hard to see or find from above, and of course this one deserved the ink sac. I then just did a little bit of quick bone mealing around the area as well. But you know what, let's just bring one more sign into my base, as the mine definitely needed one. It can just be so hard to see the signs, but holy, you definitely can see that massive cod. Wow, those guys are huge. We were able to keep one texture pack with the clear water, but ooh, underwater is scary. But as we fly on up and see the sunset on my lovely Minecraft base, I was really just taking all of it in and the progress so far. When it comes to over here is where I may want to work next episode. I definitely want to get some sort of auto sheep farm along with a better storage area, but I'd love to hear any ideas. But I want to thank you guys so much for coming out as I continue to build my base and get the necessary materials I need. But keep up the support as in the next episode we have a subscriber shrine planned. P out.